Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of 8 Minutes with Ash. In today's episode, I'm going to show you guys the best way that you can be training to speed up your fat loss process. I'm also going to talk about sets and reps and how many you should be doing, also the importance of the rest in between those sets and what that actually does for you, as well as how often you should train each muscle group and the exercises you can be doing to get more bang for your buck. So in last week's episode, guys, I did speak about why cardio might actually be stopping you from dropping fat. I have linked that video below just in case you missed it. So for now, it's time for me to help you work out the best way to get your training to work for you and definitely not against you. Most of the ladies that I speak with, they're either doing cardio or some form of longer style HIIT in a, say, 30 to 60 minute style format. Strength in a cardio circuit style session, and the majority are in search of whatever program it is that's out there that's going to leave them walking out of the gym absolutely wrecked, okay? I know this because that's exactly how I trained for years and years before working out just how much it was actually holding me back from reaching my goals. Now, this kind of training still does have its place. It's still very relevant. It's fun. It's an awesome place to start if you haven't really trained before. It is really good for your heart and cardiovascular system, which is important. But if you're looking to focus on fat loss and you're doing what I just spoke about, you're probably stuck training your butt off at the moment and you're just not seeing any big changes. Guys, if this is you, make sure that you hit that like button for me and keep listening in because this episode is definitely for you. I have mentioned previously that our bodies are adaptation machines and they adapt to the conditions that we put it under, whether that's low calories, overtraining, high cardio, and everything else in between. Exercise and under-eating or under-feeding ourselves stresses the body, and our bodies are always trying to reduce the stress by becoming more resilient and efficient to this stress. So your body wants to adapt to the stress so that it can actually better handle it next time round. So what will happen is you'll see your body grows better cardiovascular endurance or stronger muscles, whichever you're focusing on. Now, what happens if you combine the two of those together, it's very much like a car. So if you can imagine pushing the accelerator and pushing the brake at the same time, what's going to happen? If you're pushing them together, you're probably going to go forward a bit, like maybe back a bit, or not so much back a bit, but you're going to be real jerky and it's going to be quite slow. As if you were just to push one pedal, it will be more efficient and you will get better results. It's very similar. So when the goal is to lose fat, we need to make sure that our bodies are actually receiving a loud and clear message to build muscle and not to build endurance or stamina. So why do we want this signal? And this is a question that comes up a lot because this signal is continually saying to your body, hey, I want to grow muscle. And the more muscle you have, the faster metabolism you're going to have, and you're naturally going to burn more calories even when you're resting, which means that you will be burning more body fat. So now that I have explained the muscle building signal that your body will get, let's talk about what kind of exercises specifically sends that best signal. So to be able to do that, there are a few things that I like to cover. Things like how often you should be training a certain muscle group, how much rest you need between the sets, the best rep range, and also the importance of which exercises you're choosing. So first things first, I'll talk frequency. And when I say that, how often you should be training. I'm going to talk about circuit style training in a minute when I come to it, when I start talking about the rest in between sets and how that changes everything. So we're usually taught to do body part splits, right? So legs on Monday, back and bis on Tuesday, something or other, something like that. What happens with this type of training is your body gets a signal following the training to build muscle. Now this signal lasts for around 24 to 48 hours and then it dies off. So then there's like another whole 5 days where there is zero potential for growth. This actually applies when you're even sore, you've got DOMS, and it's 4 days after you actually trained, which I might add you shouldn't regularly be feeling either, but I will talk about this more in a later episode. So I know it sounds super controversial. I know we're generally taught to split it up, one muscle group per session, rest 5 to 7 days and all the rest of it. I was definitely taught that way, and I've 100% trained that way for many, many years, and then transitioned over to a full body style training session. Actually took a lot of research and a lot of convincing on my part, I might add, but the science behind it and the results that I have gotten in every single one-on-one client that it has worked for has also received the same. So hitting your muscle groups 2 to 3 times per week will certainly optimize the muscle building signal, and you're going to receive much better muscle growth. Or should I say tone, because that's what us women like to refer it to. I have honestly never grown as much muscle as when I changed to 3 full body strength sessions a week. It's slightly lower intensity, which honestly is one of the key ingredients. So what's the best amount of reps and sets that you should be doing? Now, this is very, very independent of your goals. For me personally, I do a full body workout 3 times a week, ensuring that I'm hitting every muscle group. And that goes for a total of 9 weeks, okay? So 3-week blocks for a total of 9 weeks. The first phase is strength, and I focus on the body's central nervous system, and this is what I teach my clients as well. So why is focusing on the central nervous system and connective tissues important, and what on earth does that mean? When you want to lose fat, the central nervous system actually gets to decide which muscles fire, how strong and fast they are, how far they'll lengthen, what motor patterns, your posture, basically, in short, everything that matters. So setting up this part is important, as it's helping you build a faster metabolism, which is my main focus, because a fast metabolism equals more fat loss. So this first 3-week phase is usually 4 to 6 sets per large body part for around 1 to 4 reps. Now, the small isolation exercises will get 2 sets per exercise of around 6 to 8 reps. Then I move into phase 2, which is a more hypertrophy phase, focusing on building muscle and definition, where you will see the difference in the mirror in that phase. And then I go into phase 3, where I do something really similar again, where I'll increase reps slightly again and then bring down the rest period. The order of the exercises is also really, really important, and how many sets of each exercise, depending on the muscle that you're working on, is just as important. So make sure you guys get this part spot on, or you're just simply not going to get the results that you're aiming for. So when it comes to rest, this should really differ according to what rep and set ranges you're doing and the goal that you're training for. For example, when I train my first 3-week phase of strength, where the focus is on those neurological connections that I was just chatting about, the reps are 1 to 4 and the rest is around 2 to 3 minutes, because it simply just takes longer to recover from the heavier strength style training. Now, it will seem like a really long time in between sets, but trust me, it's about working smarter. But throughout the entirety of the phases I work through, it is important to have rest. Now, the importance lies within what kind of signals that your muscles are receiving. And if you're not resting for around 45 seconds or more, and matching that rest up with the sets that you're doing, your body's just going to receive mixed messages and then can revert to that endurance mode that I was talking about before. Now, remember, endurance and muscle growth, they're not friends, okay? They're counterproductive to one another. You want to be really, really clear about the signal that you're sending your body, and if it is fat loss, you do not want to enter that endurance mode. So have a little think about what kind of signal that you're trying to send your body, and if you are resting for 10 seconds before jumping into your superset or doing a non-stop circuit, you're simply sending the endurance signal to your body, and you'll also certainly be more fatigued and won't be able to lift the same weight as you would have if you had just rested. So now I'm going to talk about the best exercises for accelerated fat loss. Now, I want you to forget all the female exercises like the body weight, leg kickbacks and the booty pulses and all of the other random high rep exercises. Unfortunately, we see women that are genetically born with an unbelievable butt or killer abs. We all know someone on Instagram that's like that. You know, they're showing their new movements combined with, or some of them, maybe fat loss pills that they're selling, whatever. You're not on your own. I've been there, I've tried them, and I can tell you they do not work. There's no point in asking someone that that was born with a great butt that you want, how do I get a butt like that? They don't know, guys. They were born with it. If you want to know how to get the results, find somebody on Instagram that had no butt and ask them what they did. And I bet you they'll tell you something along the lines of this. So your exercises should look like squats, deadlifts, shoulder press, rows, lunges, chest press. These kind of exercises should always be the cornerstone of your workout, and also make sure that you're using a heavier weight, but making sure that you're doing it with good form. High reps don't build muscle very well at all. So if you want to build a faster metabolism, train like you want to build, and you will send that powerful signal to your body that will result in that faster metabolism and a toned body, okay? This will also enable you to have the occasional Oreo chocolate like I do as well. So this is exactly the kind of training that I thought I would never see myself doing, and exactly the kind of training that I thought wasn't for me. But guess what? Changing my training to this style has seen me progress faster in the last 6 months than I have seen in 6 years of my training. So it's simple science and it works, and I'm so glad that I have tried everything else, because in all honesty, it gives me contrast. If I hadn't done HIIT for 2 years and only did this style of training, I wouldn't know the difference, and I wouldn't know how much better it is. Without all of the training experience I have, that I have had, including with training clients, I wouldn't know what I know now. If your goal is to train less, eat more, and get better results in terms of fat loss, more tone, more definition, and training in a way that is 100% the way to go, then the programming I do for my one-on-one clients is specifically for muscle gain and faster and lasting fat loss in mind, to help build that faster metabolism and simply maximize your results. And it is sustainable. Someone once actually told me, don't start doing something in exercise and nutrition if you can't see yourself doing it for the rest of your life. And I think there's some really good truth to that. What would you rather do for the next 10 years? Do you want to starve yourself, thrash yourself with circuit training, be hungry, and not hit your goals? Eat a good amount of food and a good amount of calories each day. Can you see which one you would prefer? I mean, I know which one I would prefer. I currently eat around 2,000 calories. I train in the gym 3 days a week now, as opposed to 6 or 7 before, along with some other active sessions on my days off. So that might look like something like 10,000 steps, or maybe some mobility. This is all specifically designed depending on where you are at and what your goals are. So if you want to explore working with me one-on-one, or find out more about what I personally have to offer, you can certainly do this by sending me an email. I have dropped the link below, and I will give you a call to see exactly where you are in your journey and what kind of training experience you have, and explain more about what I can do for you as well, and obviously see if we would be a good fit. So like I said, the email is dropped below, and then I will give you, I'll shoot you an email back and give you a call. All right, guys, well, that is it for episode 2. Until episode 3 drops, have a great week.